What is time? Time is one of the most mysterious and important concepts in our world. We constantly feel its flow. Day turns to night, minutes pass into hours, and years become the past. However, if you think about it, the question, what is time, raises many complex issues that even scientists haven't fully answered. Let's try to explore this fascinating phenomenon. How do we perceive time? For most people, time seems simple. We use clocks and calendars to measure it and see how events around us change. For example, you can recall when you were younger, when you were learning to walk, or when you went to elementary school. All these are examples of how you feel the passage of time. But what if I told you that time doesn't always move the same way? Time can go slower or faster depending on where you are and what you're doing. Space example. One of the most interesting examples is related to space. Imagine two twins. One is sent into space on a super fast spaceship, traveling nearly at the speed of light, while the other stays on Earth. When the astronaut twin returns to Earth after a few years, it turns out that much more time has passed on Earth than for the one who traveled. His brother might have aged decades, while he himself remains young. This phenomenon is called the theory of relativity, discovered by the great scientist Albert Einstein. According to this theory, time and space are interconnected, and the faster you move, the slower time passes for you. Is time an illusion? Some philosophers and scientists believe that time might be an illusion. They suggest that our perception of time is just the way our brain processes information. To them, the past, present, and future exist simultaneously, and only our consciousness plays this tape, creating the impression that events happen one after another. Time and speed. One example that helps understand this is the idea of driving a car. Imagine you're driving on the highway and looking out the window. Trees, houses, and roads fly by, giving you the feeling that you're moving forward. But what if I told you that you could be standing still and everything around you is moving? This is similar to how time can be viewed. We may think we are moving through time, but maybe time is moving through us. Time slowing down. If you've ever experienced moments when time seemed to slow down, for example, during moments of excitement or fear, this is also related to perception. Our brain can slow down the perception of time in critical situations, allowing us to react faster. That's why, during accidents or extreme situations, it feels like time moves slower. But what's even more surprising is that time actually slows down in reality, not just in our minds. If you were near an object with immense mass, such as a black hole, time for you would start to slow down. This happens because the gravity of the black hole is so strong that it warps space and time around it. Time is a dimension. Another interesting view on time is that it is a fourth dimension. Imagine a three-dimensional object like a cube. We can measure its height, width, and depth. But if you add time to these dimensions, you get something called the space-time continuum. Time is like another dimension that is connected to space. We move through this dimension just like we move along a road, and events happen depending on where and when you are. Time paradoxes. Interesting questions about time also arise in the context of time travel. For example, there's a famous grandfather paradox. What if you went back in time and prevented your grandfather from being born? Then you would never have been born, and therefore couldn't have traveled back in time to do it. These paradoxes show how complex and confusing our understanding of time can be. Time in the future. Another fascinating aspect of time is the future. We are always moving towards the future, but can we predict it? So far, we have no way to see into the future, although scientists and science fiction writers have long dreamed of time machines. And yet, our understanding of time opens many doors to theories that, one day, we may not only move forward in time, but also look into the future or even travel to the past. Conclusion. Time is not just the clock on the wall or a calendar. It is a mysterious and amazing phenomenon tied to the fundamental nature of the universe. Time can slow down and speed up, and its flow depends on many factors, from speed to gravity. It plays a huge role in how we perceive the world and how we understand reality. Perhaps time is not something that exists on its own, but rather our perception of something much deeper. And each of us, in one way or another, is traveling through time. Though sometimes we may not realize just how exciting that journey is.